Hey, beautiful spicy ladies. Whether you've been watching my videos for a while or this is your first time, welcome. I'm glad you're here because today's topic is going to crack open a secret that a lot of guys won't admit, but absolutely feel. Let's talk about foreplay. Not the basic stuff, not the routine, not the quick kiss before getting straight to it. I'm talking about the kind of foreplay that gets under his skin, takes over his mind, and makes him crave you in a way he can't even explain. Because here's what most women don't realize. Men love kink. Not necessarily in the hardcore extreme way, but in the playful, teasing, unexpected way. The kind that turns foreplay into a game, a mystery, a mental turn-on long before anything physical happens. But here's the catch. Most guys won't tell you this. They're afraid you'll judge them or think it's too much or worse that it'll make them look less masculine. So instead, they keep it to themselves, hoping you'll just know, hoping you'll be the kind of woman who's confident enough to lead in the most seductive way without ever having to ask for permission. And when you do, that's when the game changes. So, in this video, I'm giving you 5 kinky foreplay games that guys secretly love, but won't admit. These are fun. These are bold, and when done right, they'll bring out a side of him you've never seen before. Ready? Let's get into it. There's something deeply attractive about a woman who takes the lead, not in an aggressive, overbearing way, but with confidence, playfulness, and intention. And when it comes to foreplay, nothing flips the script for a man quite like letting her have the control. Now, here's what most people miss about male desire. Men are constantly expected to be the dominant one in their careers, in their decisions, in the bedroom. It's a role they're used to. But what they don't tell you is that many men secretly fantasize about what it would feel like to not have to lead, to surrender just for a moment to someone they trust. And that's where this becomes so powerful. The moment you introduce a playful element of control, a blindfold, a silk tie, your voice commanding him to lie back and just feel, you're doing more than being sexy. You're giving him permission to let go. You're saying, I've got this. You don't need to perform right now. Just enjoy. And for a man who's always expected to be the one in charge, that's incredibly freeing and unbelievably arousing. But here's the secret sauce. It's not just the act. It's the attitude behind it. It's the way you say, hands behind your back, no touching until I say so. It's the way you smile with that confident knowing look, the one that says, I know exactly what I'm doing to you. Because when you embody that energy, playful dominance mixed with warmth and intention, you become intoxicating. You're not just someone he wants to sleep with, you're someone he can't stop thinking about. What makes this even more potent is that it brings emotional layers into physical intimacy. When a man feels safe enough to surrender to you, it means he trusts you on a deeper level. It means he sees you not just as sexy, but as emotionally strong, grounded, and powerful. And when you create that kind of safe space for him to explore a side of himself he may never have shared before, that's when real intimacy is born. It's also worth noting this only works when it's grounded in consent and care. This isn't about overpowering. It's about guiding. It's about reading his energy, paying attention to his reactions, and leading in a way that deepens connection, not just sensation. And ironically, when you allow him to submit in that moment, you're actually showing him your strength and he'll respect you even more for it. So, yes, the control game might seem kinky on the surface, but what it really is liberating for both of you. And when you can be the woman who brings that kind of playful power into the bedroom, not only does he not forget you, he starts craving you. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, because you aren't just turn him on, you set him free. If there's one thing that absolutely drives a man crazy in the best way possible, it's anticipation. And that's what makes teasing so powerful. We're not just talking about brushing past him in the hallway or sending a suggestive text. This is about creating a slow, controlled build-up that he can't resist. The tease challenge is about turning restraint into seduction and making him work for every inch of your attention. You see, most people rush through foreplay. They want to get to the goal. But when you understand how to draw it out, when you know how to turn a man on with nothing but your voice, your body language, or a playful challenge, you unlock a completely different level of desire. Teasing is psychological. It lives in the space between what he wants and what he can't quite have. That gap, that's where obsession lives. Here's what teasing does to a man. It turns him into a chaser. And not in the usual sense. I mean, it lights up his competitive wiring. It tells him, if you want this, you've got to earn it. Not because you're playing games, but because you value yourself, because you know that your energy, your body, your intimacy. And ironically, when you playfully withhold, you become irresistible. You're not needy. You're not chasing him. You're making him lean in. So, how do you use this? Let's say you're kissing. You stop, look him in the eyes, and say, "You don't get more until you tell me one thing you've been dying to do to me." You turn foreplay into a game. Or maybe you run your hands over him, then suddenly pull back and whisper, "Not yet." That moment, that pause, it's everything. 'Cause now he's hooked. He's wondering what's next. You've created tension. And tension is the root of sexual chemistry. And here's the part most women overlook. Teasing shows confidence. When you can slow things down, when you're not in a rush to give him everything, you send a message that you're in control of your desire, not ruled by it, that you're not afraid to play, that you enjoy making him wait. Because watching him unravel is half the fun. And let me tell you, no man forgets the woman who knew how to drive him wild without even taking her clothes off. But more than that, teasing builds anticipation that strengthens the emotional connection, too. Because in that space, between touches, between looks, between words, he's thinking about you. He's fantasizing about you. And when he finally gets to have all of you physically, emotionally, mentally, it won't feel casual. It feels earned. And that makes it 10 times more meaningful. So, if you want to be unforgettable in a man's mind, don't rush. Don't give everything away. Make him work. Make him wonder. Make him wait. Number 2, the power of playful foreplay. 'Cause sometimes the sexiest thing you can say is not yet. There's a reason role play is one of the most common male fantasies. And no, it's not just about costumes or acting. It's about escape. It's about breaking free from reality, from routines, from expectations, and stepping into a world where anything is possible. You're not just his girlfriend or the woman he's dating. You're someone new, mysterious, dangerous, untamed. And that shift, that sudden change in identity is unbelievably exciting for a man. Most guys won't come out and say, "I want you to role play with me." Why? Because they fear being laughed at, misunderstood, or making it awkward. But I'll tell you what they are thinking. Wouldn't it be amazing if she surprised me? If she brought something completely unexpected into our dynamic, something playful and wild that made me feel like I was meeting her all over again. That's the magic of role play. It creates space for both of you to let go of your day-to-day identities and step into pure fantasy. For example, you become the seductive stranger at the hotel bar who makes the first move. Or maybe you're the boss and he's the intern who's about to be disciplined. Or you're the mysterious woman who just knocked on his door with a secret to tell. The storyline doesn't matter nearly as much as shift in energy. Suddenly, you're giving him permission to experience you in a way he's never seen before. And that makes everything feel brand new. What's powerful about this is not just the kink or the novelty. It's the fact that you're creating a safe space for fantasy. You're telling him, it's okay to explore. It's okay to play. I want this, too, that kind of emotional safety mixed with sexual tension. It's a rare and irresistible combination because deep down every man wants to feel like he's wanted. Not out of routine or obligation, but out of pure animalistic desire. And when you show up as this bold, fearless, seductive version of yourself, it sparks something inside him as primal. But here's the deeper truth. Roleplay isn't really about pretending. It's about revealing. It's about showing him a side of you that maybe even you didn't know you had, a flirtier side, a more commanding side, a playful, uninhibited side. And when you allow yourself to explore those parts of you, you create a sense of unpredictability. And that's what keeps a man hooked, because he's no longer seeing the same version of you every night. He's falling for someone dynamic, multi-layered, and full of surprises. So, if you've ever felt like things are getting a little too predictable, or if you want to create a moment he'll never forget, try the role-play escape. Step into another persona. Let him see fantasy come to life. Because when you bring imagination into intimacy, you don't just turn him on, you pull him into a whole new world. One where you're the adventure he didn't know he needed. There's something incredibly underrated and wildly powerful about a whisper. Not just in how it sounds, but in what it does. A whisper instantly creates intimacy. It forces him to come closer, to lean in, to focus only on you. And that moment, that closeness, that tension, that's where seduction lives. The whisper dare doesn't about raising your voice. It's about lowering your volume and raising the stakes. Here's how it works. Instead of coming on strong or trying to impress him with something over the top, you pull him in with something soft, something suggestive, something just out of reach. It might be a cheeky dare you whisper in his ear at dinner. Later tonight, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone, but you'll have to earn it. Or maybe you lean in close and say, I just had a thought about you, but I can't say it out loud. That's it. That's the tease. And now he's obsessed. He has to know what you were thinking. You've planted the seed. And now his mind is spinning. Men are incredibly visual, Yes, but they are also mental. When a woman speaks in a low, slow, confident voice, especially when she drops in an unexpected whisper, it lights up his imagination. It's not just what you're saying. It's the tone, the mystery, the delivery. He starts wondering, what is she hiding? What does she want me to do? You've turned on his curiosity. And once that's activated, his desire follows right behind. The magic of this technique isn't about being vulgar or overtly sexual. In fact, it works better when you don't say too much. When you leave something to the imagination, because once a man is imagining, he's invested. He's leaning in. He's paying attention. And in today's world where everyone is distracted, your ability to hold his attention is your superpower. But more than that, the whisper dare creates emotional closeness. Why? Because it feels like a secret. When you whisper, it signals to his brain, this moment is just for me. It creates this micro-bubble of intimacy, even in a public space. And that's deeply attractive to a man. He's not just turned on. He feels chosen, included, important. The real beauty of this is that it doesn't require anything physical to be incredibly effective. You can do it in a crowded room, in a car ride, even across a table at a restaurant. Just one daring whisper and suddenly you've flipped the entire dynamic. You're no longer just someone he's spending time with. You're the woman who gets inside his head. And let me tell you, once you're in there with the right words, the right tone, the right timing, it's game over. So the next time you want to turn up the heat without saying much at all, lean in, lower your voice, and whisper something he'll never forget, because sometimes the softest words make the loudest impact. Number 3. The art of whispering and teasing. Let's paint the picture. You're out at dinner with friends. You glance at him across the table and raise an eyebrow just slightly, but he knows exactly what it means. Maybe it's your signal that you're thinking about what's going to happen later. Maybe it's a challenge or a dare or a reminder of something you whispered in his ear last night. Whatever it is, it's your private spark. And in that moment, while everyone else is chatting away, you two are having your own silent, electrifying conversation. What makes this so powerful is the emotional intimacy it creates. It's more than just sexual tension. It's trust, playfulness, and exclusivity. He feels chosen. He feels seen. He feels like he's part of a world no one else gets access to. That connection, that sense of being in with you, that's addictive. That's what makes a man crave not just your body, but your presence, your energy, your mind. And here's where it gets even more interesting. When you create these small coded gestures, like tapping your glass twice, brushing his arm in a certain way, or using a cheeky inside phrase, you're giving him something to anticipate. You're turning ordinary moments into opportunities for excitement. Suddenly, a family dinner isn't just a dinner. It's a slow burn of tension under the surface. A group hangout becomes a flirty game of secret signals exchanged with nothing but a look. Men don't always know how to ask for this, but they love it when it happens. It makes the relationship feel alive, dynamic, like it has layers. It's not just about big romantic gestures. It's about the tiny things that happen when no one's watching. That's what makes it unforgettable. That's what makes you unforgettable. And the best part, it builds anticipation that strengthens the emotional connection, too. Because in that space, between touches, between looks, between words, he's thinking about you. He's fantasizing about you. And when he finally gets to have all of you physically, emotionally, mentally, it won't feel casual. It feels earned. And that makes it 10 times more meaningful. So, if you want to be unforgettable in a man's mind, don't rush. Don't give everything away. Make him work. Make him wonder. Make him wait. 'Cause sometimes the sexiest thing you can say is not yet. There's a reason why the role play is one of the most common male fantasies. And no, it's not just about costumes or acting. It's about escape. It's about breaking free from reality, from routines, from expectations, and stepping into a world where anything is possible. You're not just his girlfriend or the woman he's dating. You're someone new, mysterious, dangerous, untamed. And that shift, that sudden change in identity is unbelievably exciting for a man. Most guys won't come out and say, I want you to role play with me. Why? Because they fear being laughed at, misunderstood, or making it awkward. But I'll tell you what they are thinking. Wouldn't it be amazing if she surprised me? If she brought something completely unexpected into our dynamic, something playful and wild that made me feel like I was meeting her all over again. That's the magic of role play. It creates space for both of you to let go of your day-to-day identities and step into pure fantasy. For example, you become the seductive stranger at the hotel bar who makes the first move. Or maybe you're the boss and he's the intern who's about to be disciplined. Or you're the mysterious woman who just knocked on his door with a secret to tell. The storyline doesn't matter nearly as much as shift in energy. Suddenly, you're giving him permission to experience you in a way he's never seen before. And that makes everything feel brand new. What's powerful about this is not just the kink or the novelty. It's the fact that you're creating a safe space for fantasy. You're telling him, it's okay to explore. It's okay to play. I want this, too. That kind of emotional safety mixed with sexual tension. It's a rare and irresistible combination because deep down every man wants to feel like he's wanted, not out of routine or obligation, but out of pure animalistic desire. And when you show up as this bold, fearless, seductive version of yourself, it sparks something inside him as primal. Number 4. The transformative power of role play. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but incredibly powerful. The transformative nature of role play. It's not just about the fantasy or the temporary escape. It's about the shift in power dynamics, the exchange of control, and the exploration of new aspects of your personalities. When you engage in role play, you're not only stepping into different shoes for a while, but you're also opening up a dialogue about what you both desire and fear, what you're capable of, and what you wish to become. In these moments, the man you're with isn't just your partner, he's an explorer, a discoverer, someone who's eager to uncover the layers of your shared intimacy. The transformation isn't one-sided, it affects both of you. As you guide him through this new world, where you set the pace and dictate the rules, you're also revealing facets of yourself that might otherwise remain hidden. It's a mutual unveiling, a dance where leading and following switch places in a rhythm that only you two can hear. Here's the kicker. Roleplay allows for a safe space to express and explore power dynamics that might otherwise seem too intimidating or too complex to navigate in everyday life. By stepping into roles, you're not only playing out fantasies but also practicing new ways of being, of asserting yourselves, of connecting, and of understanding each other on a deeper level. And here's where the real magic happens. When you're the one setting the pace, controlling the narrative, you're showing him a side of you that's confident, unafraid to lead, and unafraid to take charge of her own pleasure. This isn't about dominating, it's about sharing the control, about creating a space where both of you can lose yourselves and find yourselves in the process. It's an act of trust, the highest form, because you're giving him the ability to see you in a way that you might not show anyone else. As you play out these roles, you're also playing with the concept of anticipation. There's something incredibly sexy about not yet. It's the waiting, the wondering, the building up of desire that happens in the space between one touch, one word, one glance. It's about turning ordinary moments into opportunities for excitement. Suddenly, a family dinner isn't just a dinner. It's a slow burn of tension under the surface. A group hangout becomes a flirty game of secret signals exchanged with nothing but a look. And here's the most potent truth. When you create these small coded gestures, like tapping your glass twice, brushing his arm in a certain way, or using a cheeky inside phrase, you're giving him something to anticipate. You're turning ordinary moments into opportunities for excitement. Suddenly, a family dinner isn't just a dinner. It's a slow burn of tension under the surface. A group hangout becomes a flirty game of secret signals exchanged with nothing but a look. Men don't always know how to ask for this, but they love it when it happens. It makes the relationship feel alive, dynamic, like it has layers. It's not just about big romantic gestures. It's about the tiny things that happen when no one's watching. That's what makes it unforgettable. That's what makes you unforgettable. Number 5. The emotional alchemy of foreplay. So, we've talked about how powerful it is for a man to feel desired by you, and how that creates a safe space for real connection to grow. But there's another layer to this that often goes unnoticed, and it's something men crave just as deeply during intimacy. The chance to be vulnerable without feeling like they are failing. Men live in a world that constantly tells them to be in control, to never show weakness, especially when it comes to relationships. They are taught to be the strong one, the provider, the one who always has it together. And while that might help them in some parts of life, like at work or when they are protecting the people they care about, it can build a wall around their emotional lives, a wall they often bring right into intimacy. But here's what most people don't talk about. A lot of men are quietly desperate for a break from that pressure. And the moments of closeness with someone they trust might be the only space where they feel safe enough to let out a breath they've been holding for years. What they are really craving, even if they don't have the words for it, is permission to just be themselves, without the need to perform or impress. They want to know they don't have to always be the strong one, that they don't have to have all the answers, that they can let go without being judged. When you create that kind of emotional space, not just a physical one, something incredible happens. He feels like he can let his guard down. He doesn't have to keep proving anything. He's not being assessed, measured, or judged. his being held. And this doesn't always look like some big emotional moment where he's pouring his heart out. Sometimes it's in the way he softens when he's next to you, his shoulders relaxing as he lets the weight of the day slip away. Sometimes it's in the quiet after an intimate moment, when he rests his head against yours and doesn't feel the need to fill the air with words. It's in those small, unspoken pauses, where he's saying, "This feels safe." Giving a man permission to be vulnerable isn't about fixing him or coaxing him to open up. It's about being the kind of partner who leads with presence. The kind of woman who makes it okay for things to slow down, who doesn't make him feel like intimacy is a test, but a place where both people get to show up honestly, imperfectly, fully. When you offer that, you're no longer just a partner. You're his piece. And trust me, a man doesn't let go of his piece easily. That's the kind of connection that roots itself deeply in his heart and keeps him coming back, not just for your body, but for you. There's a quiet truth that not enough people talk about when it comes to men in relationships. They need affirmation just as much as anyone else. And sometimes even more than they let on. Number 6. The subtle art of affirmation. Now, let's delve into the subtle yet profound act of affirmation during intimate moments. It's a common misconception that men don't need compliments or encouragement, especially in the bedroom, because they are supposed to be confident, right? But here's the quiet truth. Men need affirmation just as much as anyone else, perhaps even more than they let on. Society tells them to be the ones who give praise, who make their partner feel good, but rarely are they on the receiving end of that kind of emotional boost. And during intimacy, when they are already feeling vulnerable, that need for affirmation becomes even more powerful. Think about it. Intimacy isn't just physical for a man, it's emotional too. He's in a space where he's exposed, not just with his body, but with his feelings. He's wondering if he's making you feel good, if he's doing things right, if you're truly enjoying yourself, or if you're just going through the motions. And because men are often expected to know what to do, they don't always get the guidance or reassurance they need. That's a lot of pressure to carry in a moment that's supposed to be about connection, not stress. What he's craving is to hear that he's doing something right, that you're not just there with him, but that you're feeling him, emotionally and physically too. When you give him that positive feedback, it's like lifting a weight off his shoulders. It's not just about stroking his ego, it's about making him feel safe to keep showing up with you. This doesn't mean you have to overdo it or fake anything. It's about the little things, a soft, "I love when you do that," or a simple, "That feels so good," or even, "You make me feel so sexy." Those words, that kind of validation, stick with him far longer than the moment itself. When he hears that he's pleasing you, that you're genuinely enjoying him, he doesn't just feel validated. He feels free. Free to relax into the experience instead of overthinking every move, worrying if he's measuring up. That creates a beautiful loop of trust and pleasure. He starts to associate being with you as a place where he can win, where he can satisfy, and where he feels appreciated. And it's incredibly attractive and addictive to a man. So, if you've ever wondered, doesn't he already know he's doing great? Don't assume. Tell him. Show him. Let him feel it in your tone, your body language, your words. Positive feedback doesn't make you less mysterious or less desirable. It makes you unforgettable because a woman who knows how to uplift while connecting intimately, that's someone a man never forgets. One of the most overlooked elements of a man's deepest desire in intimacy is something that has nothing to do with physical technique. It's emotional safety. You see, most men walk through the world armored up. Even in their relationships, they are often still guarded. They may be charming, affectionate, even passionate. But underneath that is often a fear that if they reveal too much, they'll be judged, rejected, or made to feel small. This is why emotional safety is such a powerful, even seductive experience for a man because it's so rare. When a woman creates that space, when she becomes a source of non-judgment, warmth, and emotional understanding, she becomes not just a lover, but a sanctuary. And trust me, once a man finds that in you, the bond becomes more than attraction. It becomes emotional loyalty. Now, emotional safety doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says or pretending everything he does is perfect. It's about creating an energy where he knows that being real with you, even if it's awkward, even if it's uncertain, won't cost him your respect. When he feels that, he starts to bring parts of himself to you that no one else sees. It might be his insecurities. It might be his fears. It might be memories, hopes, or soft spots he's never admitted to anyone. And when you meet those things with compassion instead of criticism, something beautiful happens. He relaxes. He feels seen. He no longer feels like he's in a performance or being evaluated. He feels accepted. And that kind of emotional safety doesn't kill chemistry. It intensifies it. Because here's what most people get wrong. We think mystery or emotional distance creates desire. But long-term desire, the kind that doesn't burn out, comes from feeling secure and excited. When a man feels safe enough to be himself with you, the connection goes deeper, and the physical becomes infused with meaning. He's not just drawn to your body, he feels tethered to your presence, your energy, your understanding. And when a man feels safe in your presence, not just physically, but emotionally, that's when he gives more. That's when he surrenders, not just his body, but his heart. And that's when you stop being someone he's just with and become someone he can't imagine being without. Number 7. The transformative power of emotional safety. In a world where everything moves fast, texts, likes, swipes, expectations, slowing down has become almost revolutionary. And that includes the bedroom. So many men, especially in the early stages of intimacy, feel this silent pressure to perform, to impress, to prove something, to get it right quickly. But what a man often doesn't know how to ask for his presence. What deeply moves him, what grounds him in the experience, is a woman who values slow, intentional connection. When you take your time, not just physically, but emotionally, you're sending a message. This moment matters. I'm here with you, not racing to some end result. And that feeling is incredibly magnetic to a man. It's not just about prolonging pleasure. It's about deepening the meaning behind it. It's showing him that he's not just a body, a set of actions, or a means to an end. He's someone you want to explore, notice, and savor. There's power in a lingering look, in a touch that doesn't rush, in breath that sinks, in letting silence be comfortable instead of something that needs to be filled. These things speak volumes. They say, I'm tuned into you. They say, I don't need more. I just want this. And ironically, when you slow things down, everything becomes more electrified. The emotional tension rises. The trust builds. The sensations become sharper, more meaningful. This kind of intentional intimacy makes a man surrender in a way that's rare. He lets go of the need to lead. He stops trying to predict or control. He relaxes into the present. And in that space, something truly beautiful happens. You stop performing for each other and start experiencing each other. And that moment is where connection shifts from physical to unforgettable. Men may fantasize about variety or excitement, but what they remember, what changes them, is the woman who makes them feel something real. And that feeling is born in slowness, in purpose, in the unspoken space between two people who aren't trying to impress. They are just willing to be fully there. Give him that. And it's not just his body you reach, it's his soul. And that's the kind of intimacy a man will chase forever. The essence of true intimacy. As we wrap up this exploration into the hearts of men and the art of true intimacy, it's clear that being a spicy lady isn't about superficial acts or games. It's about embodying a strength that's quiet yet profound, a confidence that's unwavering, and a presence that's impossible to ignore. You've heard about the power of taking charge, the allure of vulnerability, and the magic of anticipation. These aren't just tricks up your sleeve. They are the building blocks of a connection that's as enduring as it is enriching. Remember, the most profound moments in life, the ones that truly shape us, aren't happen on a stage with lights and applause. They occur in the quiet spaces of our hearts, in the unspoken exchanges of trust and understanding, in the shared silences that speak volumes. It's in these sacred spaces that men find what they secretly crave, not dominance, but partnership, not control, but trust, not just physical closeness, but emotional intimacy. When you step into your power as a spicy lady, you're not just turning up the heat, you're igniting a flame that burns away the barriers between you. You're not just being bold, you're being bold and vulnerable, confident yet open, creating a space where a man can be more than just a lover. He can be a companion, a confidant, a mirror to his soul. And here's the beautiful truth. When you carry that kind of energy, when you're present in a way that's unafraid to be seen and felt, you're not just inviting him into your world, you're inviting him into a world where he feels fully alive. A world where he's not just desired, but cherished. Where he's not just wanted, but needed. And that's the kind of connection that makes all the difference. So, to all the spicy ladies out there, keep shining in your unique way. Keep choosing depth over surface, authenticity over pretense, and self-respect over seeking approval. Your path might not always be easy, and it might not always be rewarded in the ways you expect. But remember, the Sigma path is not loud, it's not flashy, but it's solid, quiet, unshakable. It's for the woman who doesn't just want to be seen. She wants to be real. So own your difference, protect your peace, and never apologize for choosing what aligns with your truth. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you a Sigma. As we draw this video to a close, I want to leave you with this. Your strength isn't need to shout to be heard. Your silence isn't mean surrender. Your emotional discipline isn't just make you strong, it makes you wise. And that wisdom, that understanding of who you are and what you bring to the world, that's what truly sets you apart. Keep moving how you move. Keep handling pressure like it's just part of the process. Keep choosing grace when you could choose chaos. Because that kind of strength doesn't just scare the ones who tried to shake you. It inspires the ones who are learning how to hold their own. Thank you for watching, Spicy Ladies. And God bless you all.